Leaked claims of false witnesses cast shadow over today's court session against Dr. Riek Machar and co-accused. Juba, October 1st, 2025. Tensions are rising in Juba as the fifth court session of suspended First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, former Petroleum Minister KANG, and 6 other senior SPLMIO members resumes today. According to leaked reports, several young men from Nasir have allegedly been brought to the capital to testify as false witnesses for the government's legal team. This move reportedly comes after government lawyers failed to present concrete evidence in previous hearings, despite being granted multiple adjournments by the court. Critics argue that this tactic undermines the credibility of the judicial process. Bringing in coached witnesses when the prosecution has no evidence not only delays justice but also erodes trust in the system, a Juba-based political analyst told local reporters. Soldiers' deaths and legal accountability. A central theme of the trial has been whether the accused leaders can be held responsible for the deaths of soldiers during clashes. Legal experts caution against using these fatalities as the basis for treason and murder charges. Soldiers serve with the understanding that they may sacrifice their lives to protect the nation, one observer said. But that sacrifice is meant to confront external enemies, not fellow citizens. Without clear evidence of command responsibility, no political leader should be held accountable for battlefield casualties. Broader political implications. The trial has already sparked growing skepticism about the government's commitment to the 2018 revitalized peace agreement, with international observers warning that political interference could derail the country's fragile transition ahead of its first elections. The SPLMIO leadership has repeatedly dismissed the case as a politically motivated attempt to weaken the opposition, while government officials maintain that due process is being followed. Possible international reactions. If evidence of witness manipulation surfaces during today's session, sharp responses are expected from international partners. United Nations mission in South Sudan. UNMISS likely to call for judicial independence and protection of the accused, stressing that coerced or false testimonies will damage South Sudan's international credibility. Troika. US, UK, Norway could issue a joint statement warning that politically compromised trials may affect diplomatic support and development funding. African Union. AU may urge the government to uphold the rule of law and warn against actions that could trigger renewed instability. IGAD. As guarantor of the peace deal, IGAD could push for an independent review of the case and press Juba to honor its peace commitments. European Union. EU expected to echo concerns, possibly linking any further sanctions relief or aid to respect for fair trial standards. With tensions running high, the outcome of today's proceedings could either reaffirm or further erode confidence in South Sudan's judiciary at a time when the country's political future hangs in the balance. Defense submission on behalf of Honorable PUOT. Case: Republic vs. Dr. Riek Machar Tini, Honorable PUOT, and 6 others. Date: October 1st, 2025. Venue: High Court, Juba. Subject: Counter evidence in relation to allegations of hate speech and incitement. Honorable Judges, the defense respectfully submits the following for the court's consideration in relation to the charges raised against Honorable PUOT, former Minister of Petroleum. 1. Context of the Nasir County Youth Peace Dialogue, NCYPD. In his official capacity, Honorable PUOT addressed the NCYPD Peace Conference in Nasir. His speech is available in video and audio recordings and has been witnessed by community leaders, youth representatives, and civil society members. 2. Content of the speech. Upon review of the recording, it is evident that Honorable PUOT message was entirely centered on peace and reconciliation. In his speech, he urged the newer subclans to end revenge killings and reconcile, called for a lasting peace and freedom across the country, encouraged South Sudanese communities to live together in unity, rejected all forms of tribal hatred and violence. At no point did he make statements that qualify as hate speech or incitement against any ethnic group in South Sudan. 3. Legal relevance. The government prosecution alleges that Honorable PUOT engaged in activities that incited violence and contributed to the current case. However, the NCYPD conference speech provides direct evidence to the contrary. His words promoted peace, not violence. His actions demonstrate commitment to national reconciliation. The allegations lack factual basis and appear politically motivated. 4. Request to the court. Given the above, the defense respectfully requests the court to 1. Admit the video and audio evidence of Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL's NCYPD speech as part of the case record. 2. Reject any fabricated testimonies that attempt to mischaracterize his message. 3. Recognize that the prosecution has failed to establish credible evidence of incitement, hate speech, or criminal responsibility against Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL. Conclusion: Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL has consistently positioned himself as a peace builder, not an instigator of violence. The attempt to criminalize a speech devoted to peace is both unjust and contradictory to the principles of fair trial and judicial independence. Recent attempts to implicate Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL, Minister of Petroleum, in acts of incitement and violence are unfounded and misleading. It is important to recall that during the Nasir County Youth Peace Dialogue (NCYPD) conference held in Nasir, Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL delivered a speech that was entirely devoted to the cause of peace, reconciliation, and unity. In that address, he appealed to the people of Nasir and the broader Nuer community to abandon cycles of revenge and killings, stressing that peace must prevail not only among Nuer subclans, but also among all the peoples of South Sudan. There was no single statement in his speech that encouraged hate, hostility, or division against other tribes. On the contrary, his repeated message was clear: to stop killing one another, to embrace lasting peace and freedom, and to promote unity and coexistence among South Sudanese citizens. Anyone who reviews the video recording of that conference will hear for themselves that Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL's words were those of a peace builder, not an instigator of conflict. Therefore, attempts to twist his record and use fabricated witnesses to discredit him are nothing more than a political ploy aimed at silencing voices of peace within the opposition. Honorable PUOT KANG CHOL stands firmly by his words and continues to advocate for a peaceful, united South Sudan.
Bangi chana june chogo ya maje ku dol ko be dwai lola we dwe chiogole kabe yong din mi tigo port ana gare maje cha kugi ko dir mun gur gange je chul dwai gargulen ko garguru magang yene mundun kel gang yene dorun gang yene man kun gang yene gat kun muy je loje bu par garan bangi ani chon par garan bangich a joj o gang kon we dan en de re demo de la rie chinedi ngoro ke nasar jadak nasar no wal te ke chon mu bum te chon mu gwa lof ko kon ke jinu Sudan bon ko ni nyuro na meti mu ci daro lat o ba ka nasar lof ke je ene nasar ko kon ji kaynte yi nyuru wana ma wale a ci pen gi Sudan ko be yar kel ana la pot kan chul be ro kok lakin kel bum kane roy ko na gada ko je wo bite be lo wodi taran mi ci chokaru di jendok la tiye ni ko do ko miti ga gad bo ko gada miti de ko run dar te go na ken wida dar ka dolat te langa te lati ana lane ga te beto lane keka kalane ko bana nasar bane nyo luitin buna chengreide begat kon miti makana lat dong da ken lo la da gwa kedwo ko wa ti beno ana lane reide an de doglat kero menyam ka chalar commissioner medan kane mat kon ramiche jimizut kane mat kon ramiche Gabriel Changson Chang lakin ngaye je kaloy de ke liw ci Canada lok ko ene ne ti ko kon wuziri kel ke Juba te gad di kany ene gar me chana mat gwame wale dol wano to wanamo bane renovated mo yeno lim no kume o ba ban ge choke e be ba let ke ye bu mana do la kana bul bane la de pain kon อันนี้เรื่องเงี้ยนะบ้านไหนหลัดกับไปก่อนก็บ้านไหนหลัดดียินเปิดลวงเงดูมิที่กับเรียลเคลยูเรียปิงกูเปิดลวงเงดูมิที่รำเทยูโรบักยอร์ปิงกูลวงเดมิที่รำเทยูดยกบักยอร์ปิงกูเปิดลวงเงเดบุกวันยูนี่ดีไปยูกับดามดีหลัดมัวนักอมัดบิกายยูวัลบาดวลวัลโมบาเรนเวติตอันนั้นล้านเจเร็วเดดวลกอร์บ้านนี้ยกเรนเวติตดวลกอร์ดานโมเจ้าคอมมิชเนอร์ยงเมดันคุยอาเซสเอาว่ากุยอินจิเนียร์งุ้มเดอร์นางก่อนบนาลุยนี่ไปนี่ก่อนพาร์ลเมนต์มีเชียร์ละดวลเลยทงเคเจเคเจียมนั่นนับก็นับเบอร์ดีเลยแม่มีเชียร์มีเดเคนินเดียลที่ที่นี่มีเชียร์วิเชียร์ที่คุณมัดเชียร์เดลงมาหน้าที่ไม่ใช่ได้เคเจเอ็นดวลวาลันกันดวลกอร์ดันโอ้บ้านนี้ก็เรียนเลยก็เดนเดลงจะก่อนได้ยังเนี่ยละพดมาไปจุกขยุบมั้งไปทุกเบียลิงberada dien kagad jikain ko dorome che dor che nyeliet karodien dorome la de medan le de ken jikain dia altiti ani chane nyoklo igwade ko me a 32 state dak gar ku mi chwa jake headquarter du wilaya kadan ino borun mutego do dien adak me akonda ga makal daraja ne headquarter ran gwa banelat akonอันจะรอจะลงแอร์พอร์ตมั้งคอมมิชเนอร์อันนี้จะวางของนุบฉันเนี่ยตัวก็วางมิตรกว่าได้คนเกิดแสนเยอะขึ้นฉันตัวบวงบ้านเนี่ยคุณเลยดีบ้านเนี่ยไว้ในแอร์พอร์ตมั้งคนชักกระถึงนี่เราได้ในบันปันจะเจอทุกวันที่นี่เป็นบันเทกเรียนเนี่ยเลยที่ดวลคูเดยูร์กันอาเซอร์เทกันอาบ่ที่จ่าระเรียนเลยก็เอวชักกันได้จุบอุ้ยจิเมก็จูบะลักขินกับบ่มขบชุกเดรียนเลยก็ชักกันเป็นคนมาดานจ่าเนี่ยด้วยดวลกับแอร์พอร์ตจ่าวรีเนลจ่ามาคันเดจ่าวูจิเตมิเยกสินมวยยันโวก็จะแบบแปนแต่ว่าเราไม่อยากการที่จะเอาไว้จะค้นแผนในวิธีสิการวิ่งป่วยมาร์บจะค้นแผนในวันนี้สิการวิ่งป่วยเนี่ยบังกุลแกร์พอร์ตจะว่าการ์จะน่าเสียดายรู้ยังสินะสิเนี่ยจีว่าจะเอาให้การ์ก็เบจกระทบเบจยูก็ได้ชัวร์ว่าจักรวาลคือบ้านไหนก็ชุดพบกับบ้านไหนพาละจักรก็ไปแผนกันก็แผนกับบรรดาก็จักก็ไปแผนกันไว้ได้ยกก็คนโน้นเนี่ยนี่ไม่ใช่เราไม่ชิลเลตเคโอโนนาเซอร์ดอรันเรียนมันยอดเดียนบุกเกนั่นเนี่ยยันในเรื่องคนจะแต่กับ political parties ควายควายจีควาซัวควางะนาเซอร์ดอรันคนเดียbicaraan guru berkan nasir kela bana tik kel kerode cuana siasa dan cuana nang tuduri kon cuana siasa dan cuana ne kon da keje kumon ne kon da bana nang neke ci kon bala neke ene bicaraan bo cuana rokwet cagwa ku mo ne wiye do pay ni kon cara bolot kon yege kon me wone ke jube kamal taka woka do dien me wako ke jube wone yo ki mala rame to woka jube ke ji ayo dial ajanan pot ka ngi chung nyam dune waga changa bakel ka pay wal kel ke 2018 me wake ci docteur yi ma char ci je ni am na te jo pot bo ko jube mo ba ji wonak asalfa ke ci wo ko jube bu par ka ga no rete ca nang medan chonok ci dol e wobi jinu Sudan betagamal kaga do arame gwa nyur kontin wale tineri wan chokien dotin ka chan ga bulunga wat mitega mida mal nung e biting ne ko kien biya gang e chirar mi nyoko jien wi mon e jende na lado e jende nang ne ke jube ke jende bene daga te ke jube ke wo atara mi nyok lia ka mai minake da so Sudanese arana ke ko be me chagje an de gorba lariye na bo mitega te ling yen e jube aran tia yunuro maide lam na jalane ko bigo to ba ka tim bina roitin e jenen kunal te ko kuma ke je en me eran mi ci do ling cho ko ngi maidu lam del kontina gari ngui to ko banelat en yen mal te ke jubu mo kata kana ser wale go aga kondial lam na jelet en ne din ko ne yo no naser tete luo ke naser particularly gar do aran che minyal gare bug jawano goa en wo ni re kana ser tel mi durtin adoran ko bodo jin wi lo adu ene na chinyo ko jien kana ser mute gara mongot to gola o ko nyunge mitega wil mon kanaser ablu ndore alu ndore ko me kane chenkel en manan me choba che wonu barga dal nen do ngi bul tel dore de rede e chondien ko naser tere mon jinup ay mi ci daan warar gari ñu sultan mi ci daan warar ne la napin te la wa chi luang thieng da ta ram le luang thieng gari ko do chi na chu man kon gari chiu chiu ti ju ko ne chi luang thieng chagwa ene mi chira na wajal paleje a wajal belunjo aran cha gwer chere mi rana bare bo general nial.
Closing argument on behalf of Honorable PUOT KANG. Case Republic versus Dr. Riek Machar Tini, Honorable PUOT KANG, and 6 others. Date October 1st, 2025. Venue High Court, Juba. Closing remarks. Honorable judges. Throughout this trial, allegations have been raised to portray Honorable PUOT KANG as a promoter of violence and division. But the truth is clear and cannot be distorted. According to Honorable PUOT KANG himself, and as evidenced by his Nasir County Youth Peace Dialogue speech, his words have always been about peace. He called on communities to end revenge killings. He appealed for unity among Nuer subclans. He extended this call to all South Sudanese, stressing reconciliation and harmony above all else. There was no hate speech, no tribal incitement, and no call to violence in his message. Instead, every word carried the weight of peace, forgiveness, and a vision for a united South Sudan. To criminalize such a speech devoted to peace would not only be unjust, but it would also undermine the very principles of fair trial, truth, and judicial independence. Honorable PUOT KANG has consistently positioned himself as a peace builder, not an instigator of conflict. This court must recognize that record and reject politically motivated attempts to twist his words into crimes. Final appeal. Honorable judges, today we ask that justice be done, that truth be upheld, and that the court affirm what the evidence already shows. Honorable PUOT KANG was all about peace, and peace must be his legacy in this trial.